Billionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
A poor man prayers,
every man bleeds.
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy SL550, and this is the N.G.L.A. podcast. Thank y'all for locking in with me. And before we start, man, make sure y'all hit that like button, that share button. Also, comment down below if you can, and also subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. Today, we're going to talk about a few things. My boy JD.Vance cooking on Fox, talking about this whole Russia collusion hoax. Also, Scott Jennings on CNN going in on Ana Kasparian, I believe her last name is. And the Eagles Landon Dickerson gets carted off the field. Sick. We're going to get some updates on that. Also, we're going to end the show with a new Gunna song that I heard. I like it. I fuck with it. And we're going to play it, man, and we're going to have some fun today. So we're going to get into it by reacting to this JD.Vance interview that he had with Maria Bartiromo on Fox. Let's get it.
Meanwhile, we're still waiting for accountability on the whole Russia collusion made-up story.
Yes.
Now that DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, has released all of those classified documents, we're actually seeing who was behind all of this. Do you want to see indictments?
I absolutely want to see indictments, Maria. Look, of course, you've got to have the law follow the facts here. You don't just indict people to indict people. You indict people because they broke the law. But if you look at what Tulsi and Kash Patel have revealed in the last couple of weeks, I don't know how anybody can look at that and say that there wasn't aggressive violations of the law. What they basically did is they defrauded the American people in order to take Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign talking points and turn them into intelligence by defrauding the American people, defrauding the intelligence agencies, lying about what the intel said. They would take something that supported a Hillary Clinton campaign talking point, and they would overemphasize it and exaggerate it. They took anything that actually contradicted that narrative and they buried it deep, and through that, they actually laundered Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign talking points through the American intelligence services. That's a violation of the people's trust. That's a violation of what our intelligence services should be doing, and I absolutely think they broke the law, and you're going to see a lot of people get indicted for that. Here's the thing that should really bother the American people. What do you want our intelligence community to be doing? I want them to be catching bad guys. I want them to be making sure that terrorists aren't going to kill innocent American civilians. I don't want them laundering Hillary Clinton's campaign talking points into the American media and giving them this air of legitimacy. It is sick and it's disgusting. It hurt the intelligence community, it hurt the American people, and it hurt the first Trump administration. We've got to have consequences for it, or we're just going to see the same play repeated again and after again.
How significant?
And I've said that. That's the main reason why this accountability has to happen. And from they might even say it on here, but I heard that they subpoenaed a few big names. So this ain't going away, and they definitely looking to hold some people accountable, man. And it's getting deep. JD.Vance, bro. I like JD.Vance, bro. I think he's going to be the front runner for 2028. I think he'll be a good president. What y'all think, man? Y'all think JD.Vance would be a good president?
Did it impact the president's first term? Because remember, a lot of people didn't want to work in the administration. He was always on defense, saying, I didn't collude.
Sure.
What kind of an impact was there to actual policy and the impact on the American people?
Look, it certainly had an impact, Maria. The president likes to say this, and I really think...
Oh, just to remind, too, JD.Vance was also one of the ones... Hold on, I want to look up something real quick. I don't think so, though, but I do remember JD.Vance definitely was negative about Donald Trump in the past. I wanted to check something real quick. Hold on. He was definitely critical of Donald Trump in the past. And, you know, they brought that up during the campaign or whatever like that. But, you know, he basically said he was wrong. He was honest. He was one of the ones. People need to be more like JD.Vance, because JD.Vance admitted that he was wrong about Donald Trump. He was caught in, you know, the bullshit with everybody else, believing all the lies that were told about Donald Trump and that he was this racist and this bad person and, you know, wasn't going to do anything good for America and all of this stuff. But let me see. Okay, so you know, I wanted to check whether he was ever a Democrat. I don't know why it crossed my mind, but no, he was always a Republican from Ohio or whatever. And also, JD.Vance came from the bottom. They got a movie on him. It was a good movie. I forget what the movie is called. What was that movie called? It was a good movie. I watched it. Should definitely watch it. Let me see. Oh yeah, it's called Hillbilly Elegy. That's what it's called. But it's based on the life of JD.Vance. He grew up in you know, some fucking town in Ohio, and you know, he grew up, his mom was on drugs and shit. Like, he didn't have he didn't have you know, how would you say it? Like the cushy, he just didn't have a cushy life. You know, he came up and went to college. I think he went to Harvard too. You know, he made a film about him. He also was you know, made it into Congress, and he was an attorney too. You know, so this was a dude who got it out the mud. You know what I mean? So that's what you know, some of the characteristics about him that I think would definitely make him a good president.
I think it hits the nail on the head that as much as he got accomplished, and I think the first Trump administration was a major, major success for the American people, he was both governing but also fighting to survive. Imagine if he was able to put 100% of his efforts and his attention on just doing the job of President of the United States. He had to fight back against the fake Russia collusion hoax pretty much his entire administration. That distracts resources, that distracts from the Department of Justice. That means the intelligence community is focused on that instead of on catching bad guys. It definitely had an impact. Thank God we have a president who was able to do good things for the American people despite it. But one of the reasons why I think the second Trump administration is going so well is because the administration, the people underneath them, the people behind them, the people working for them, they're not engaged in this fake garbage. We're just trying to carry out the mandate of the President of the United States. And I think we've done a very good job. We're very proud of the work that we're doing, but we're also loyal to the man who was elected by the American people.
And here we are on your 200th day, you and the president doing so much in this second term. Let's talk about the president's efforts on trade and tariffs, because he's not afraid to put significant tariffs on countries like India for buying Russian oil. Are you going to do a similar move to China as well? They're also buying Russian oil.
Well, the president said he's thinking about it, but he hasn't made any firm decisions. Obviously, the China issue is a little bit more complicated because our relationship with China it affects a lot of other things that have nothing to do with the Russian situation. So the president's reviewing his options and, of course, going to make that decision when he decides. But look, what the president has used tariffs to do is two things. Number one, you saw Tim Cook just this week come in and promise $600 billion of investment to build the iPhone, to build components, to build artificial intelligence data centers right here in the United States of America. We're seeing a manufacturing boom in this country because you have a president who's telling people that if you want to sell to great American consumers, you've got to make it in America and use great American workers to do it. The second thing the tariffs are doing is it's bringing in a lot of additional revenue, which of course we're using to give tax relief to the American people and make it easier for average Americans to get by. So I think we're doing a lot on the tariff side. And it's also, the final point I'll make on this is it's an incredible negotiation.
The same tariffs that everybody was crying about, saying that it was going to hurt the American people, is the same tariffs that they use that's making all of these big deals.
tool. Because when you tell countries that have accessed American markets and cheated for a generation, you can't get into America's market unless you pay a big fat tariff or open up your own markets. You've seen this happen with the European Union. You've seen this happen with countries in Asia. All over the world, they're opening up their markets to American goods because they don't want to pay the tariffs. So it's a great negotiating tactic. It's been great for the American people. And I think it's the most important thing, maybe aside from the border. The most important thing the president is doing is bringing back American prosperity. We're going to make more stuff in America because of the president's leadership.
How long do you expect it'll take to get a real manufacturing infrastructure fired up in America? Because he's threatening 250% tariffs on pharmaceuticals, more tariffs on semiconductor chips, unless these companies commit to building it here. So how long before that can actually happen?
Well, the president you saw yesterday said so long as you're committing on semiconductors and chips to build this stuff in America, he might be willing to actually delay those tariffs a little bit. So I think in some cases it's going to take a few weeks, some cases it's going to take a few months, some cases it will take longer. But the basic idea is very simple. If you are investing in America, if you're building a new facility, building a new factory, we're going to reward you for it. If you're investing outside of this country, if you're trying to cheat and bring foreign product to undercut the wages of American workers and American businesses, then you're going to pay a very stiff penalty. That principle.
That sounds like good business to me. Like, I don't see what's wrong with that. Like, I've been saying this since the beginning of hearing all this, is that it makes sense. It's called logic. It's something that a lot of these fake experts, they know. They know that this shit is good. A lot of them, bro, they just be out there just talking for the Democratic Party. They're like, yo, we gotta bombard them with all of this fake news, you know, because they're doing too well. They're doing too good. You know, my whole thing is, bro, people got to be patient. This shit is going to pay off in the end. Trump is a mogul. He is a motherfucker that has been doing good for a long time. And he knows what it's like for a business to do good. He knows what it's like for a business to fail. This is a guy that's been around. So, but he also understands that he's used to doing big projects, like big shit that takes, you know, time to build, to actually get it up and running and actually see it. He knows that it's going to take a certain amount of years for it to really turn a real profit. Like, he understands this, and the things that he's doing has long-term effects, like things that we could see 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. But when he's long out of office, you know what I'm saying? So this is big deals though. Like, but JD.Vance is hitting it right on the nose. And this is what I like about JD.Vance, is that he's going to give you honest transparency. And that's what you want out of your president, your vice president, anybody that's in government, you know? But what do you get from most of these Democrats? You get theater, you get actors, you get a bunch of like Jasmine Crockett's. Like, that's what you get, you know? And that's what's representing a lot of these states. Motherfuckers that are in it just for the perks. You know, while their city is struggling, while all of these black communities are doing bad, you know, ridden with a bunch of crime and bullshit, you know, they're laid up in lavish hotels and lavish apartments, and they doing it all off the taxpayer dime, you know? While we're out here struggling, paying damn near $4 a gallon for gas, and, you know, $6 for milk, and you know, all the things that people use on a daily basis, they're living good because they're making $150,000, $170,000 a year working in the government, doing a bunch of nothing. Because they made a good point on one of my last episodes. What are these people? These people have been in office for 40 years, 35 years, 50 years. What have they actually done for Americans? What have they done? Nothing. When you really look into these people's careers and things that they have done, all they have is titles. That's it. Hillary Clinton, name one thing that she did good for people in general. It doesn't even have to be a specific demographic of people. It's just anybody. You won't hear anything positive. You'll hear anything. You'll hear things that have to do with war, killing somebody, a terrorist or something maybe, or you'll just hear a bunch of fancy titles that she kept getting time and time again for doing a bunch of nothing. And that's a lot of these politicians that are in the government. They do a bunch of nothing for years, and they're living these good lives, getting paid good money from us because they work for us. That's what people fail to realize, is that the police on the street work for you, the government works for you. This is how it's supposed to be, because the government doesn't function without us, without the working class, the middle class, that the Democrats claim for 60 years now that they are the party that is for the middle class and the working man and woman. But they're not, bro. They're for the take advantage of you, use your tax money to, fund wars and, give it to foreign countries because they need it more than you. You fucked up on welfare, your uncle homeless, panhandling in front of the liquor store, and instead of them using the taxpayer money to give to our fucked up cities, that's been fucked up for decades, they giving it to Zimbabwe and all of these fake, foreign aid situations that you never even heard of.
Is
ridiculous.
What now drives the American economy, and people can make their own decisions. Yeah, you can make it overseas if you want, as the president said, but you're going to pay a big fat tariff before you access America's market, so you might as well build it right here at home.
Is Europe as aligned with the United States as it should be? What did you make of the backlash over this Switzerland 39% tariff? I'm wondering your assessment of Europe today.
Look, we love Europe and obviously have a great relationships. We sometimes have some disagreements. I think the president was particularly gratified that the Europeans really have agreed and committed to open up their markets to American car manufacturers, to American farmers. Those are big wins. If you work in farming, if you work in agriculture, if you work in auto manufacturing, the Europeans really are tearing down some barriers. So we're very grateful to that, and we hope to build on that relationship economically in the coming years.
Well, look, the president has been floating you along with Marco Rubio as your partner for the next election. Have you spoken to Secretary Rubio about this?
I saw Marco about a month ago. We just laughed at the whole thing because neither one of us are focused on politics. We're focused on actually doing a good job for the American people. And the way that I think about it, Maria, is if we do a good job, number one, that's the reward in and of itself, that all have made a big difference in the lives of our country for the last 6 months, the next 3.5 years. But if we do a good job, the politics will take care of itself. Let's just focus on that. I think, as the president said, it's way too early to be thinking about the political future. It's frankly way too early to be thinking about 2026. It's certainly way too early to be thinking about 2028.
But you are expecting to run for president in 28.
I'm not going to break that news today, Maria. What I'm going to do is focus for the next year and a half on doing a really good job for the American people, winning the midterm elections in 2026, and then we can talk about politics after that.
Can you give us some clarity on this meeting that is reportedly happening or happened last night at the White House about the Epstein files and how you're communicating the Epstein story?
So I've seen so many different fake reports about this, so let me set the record straight. There was no meeting at my house last night. There just wasn't.
Was there a meeting at the White House?
We did meet at the White House yesterday, but not at the time that they said that we were going to meet, and not about the subject that they said that we were going to meet about. We have a great FBI director and a great Department of Justice lead, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and we met to talk about how to ensure we have justice for the American people. We actually didn't talk about the Epstein issue at all. That was never meant to be the subject of the meeting, and it's one of those things where I guess somebody leaked a calendar entry maybe, and then people assumed that it must have been about Epstein, even though it had nothing to do with Epstein. On the Epstein issue, what the president has said very clearly, because we've had other meetings about that, is that he wants us to be fully transparent and he wants the credible information out there. So we're working to compile the thousands and thousands of documents that are out there for full transparency. But I have to say, Maria, I laugh at the Democrats who are now all of a sudden so interested in the Epstein files. For 4 years, Joe Biden and the Democrats did absolutely nothing about this story. We know that Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of connections with left-wing politicians and left-wing billionaires, and now President Trump has demanded full transparency from this, and yet somehow the Democrats are attacking him and not the Biden administration, which did nothing for 4 years.
Was it the right move?
But notice, though, he right, though. This is true. Now, all of a sudden, y'all had all the same information that Trump's administration has right now for 4 years, and you didn't hear nothing about it at all. Like, not even a little bit. Now, granted, Trump did say that he was going to drop these files in the MLK and the JFK files. You know, I haven't seen anything about it. I'm not, like, super big on it, but anytime anything has been reported about this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, I've showed it on here because, you know, people have seemed to be very interested in it. But this is the things that they do. They're only attaching themselves to this and act like they care because they think Trump is in it and they think Trump. But think about it, though. If Donald Trump, the Donald Trump was in the Epstein files that they had, that Pam Bondi had to get from their FBI, right? And remember, they were shredding shit and all of this type of stuff. If Donald Trump was in it, they wouldn't have put it out there already. Come on. They've been trying to, they literally, hold on, let me turn this down because I don't want my shit to be cracking. They literally like Donald Trump had a mugshot. They locked Donald Trump up. And they literally tried to put Donald Trump in jail for years. Like, they really wanted to throw him under a rock somewhere and forget about him. So you're not going to sit here and tell me, bro. People can say what they want. You got guys like that guy, Brian Cohen, who his whole page is about Trump. Like, he any story that is attached to Trump that he can flip in some type of way, that's what he talks about all day long. You got people, like people that literally, it's all they wake up thinking about Donald Trump. Like, they might get hard thinking about this dude, bro. Like, it's crazy. But come on, bro. It just doesn't make sense. They had it for all this time. Epstein been dead since 2019. You know, this is 6 years ago. They had it all this time. And come on, stop it. But they have information. I don't even know if they're going to talk about it, man. I'm about to look it up. I'm gonna let this
for
play.
Comer to send subpoenas to the Clintons.
It absolutely was, and it drives home how while the Democrats have tried to make this Epstein thing about anything but, the fact that Democrat billionaires and Democrat political leaders went to Epstein Island all the time. Who knows what they did, but it's totally reasonable to ask these questions. What you saw in the House's subpoena is they are trying to investigate all of the things related to this particular case. I know a lot of Americans want answers. I certainly want answers. And I think James Comer and the team of the House, they're doing the right thing. And of course, we know that Clinton, or allegedly he went to the island 26 times, 28 times. Totally appropriate for Comer to be asking what was going on at that island.
Let me get your quick take on growth and this moment in time that we're at, AI, crypto, et cetera, et cetera. The Securities and Exchange Commission launching.
So in case I don't know if you caught it, but basically they subpoenaed Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and other people. They got subpoenaed to come testify, I guess in some type of committee hearing or something like that about this whole Epstein thing. So I want to see what's going to happen out of that.
Project Crypto. What do you want digital assets to look like? And also, what about the impact of AI on jobs? Is there a plan now to fill those holes for the jobs that no doubt will go away because AI makes everything so much more productive?
There's a lot of talk about robots destroying all the jobs. There's a lot of talk about how AI is going to destroy everybody's job. I actually don't see the evidence of that. What I think is that AI, there are some issues. I worry about the surveillance state because artificial intelligence is going to be used for that. I really worry about invasions of people's privacy because AI could be used for that. There are definitely concerns with AI, but I think that the big risk is fundamentally you've got a bunch of very left-wing people who might use AI to censor people and drive a very left-wing narrative using artificial intelligence. In some ways, they're going to do with AI what they tried to do with big tech. Those are the things that we're really focused on, the dangers that we're really focused on. But Maria, there's a lot of upside too. And if you got to focus on the dangers, but you've also got to focus on the opportunity. I think it's going to help us cure diseases in amazing ways. I think it's going to lead to a boom in construction jobs. I think we're going to be able to do things that we weren't able to do before. And there might be some disruptions, but fundamentally when it comes to jobs, we ought to be focused on the ways in which AI is going to create great productivity and great new economic opportunities. What I worry about is the focus on the job destroying effects of AI distract us from the fact that AI could be used to create new surveillance systems, that AI could be used to censor conservatives or other people in new and very scary ways. That's what we're focused on. I think it's the right danger, but also the right opportunity for us to focus on.
And just the final question on China, because nobody does surveillance better than China. What else can the U.S. do to keep China in a box? Because they're undermining us at every turn. Just this week, Senator Tom Cotton sent a letter to Intel about its CEO because it was selling secrets to companies tied to the Chinese military.
Yep.
Is there anything else to be done there that you'd like to discuss?
Well, there is, and this is where it goes back to having a really great FBI director and a really great attorney general, is that when people are stealing America's secrets or stealing our corporate intellectual property and sending it to anywhere, we've got to prosecute that stuff. We know that Chinese companies
They do that a lot. They steal patents like a motherfucker. And that's the reason why this is the reason why bringing back American goods is the best thing, because at one point, like, we just had the best shit. The best shit was made here, bro. Like, people can say what they want. Yes, you can get a bunch of cheap shit from China. That's true. Cool. But is the value better? Like, that's my thing. And they do that. They will take anything. I'll give it to them. They some smart motherfuckers. Dumb motherfuckers that take any patent and go ahead and undermine that shit and make their own products quick. That's why I like, that shit got to be protected, man.
Have been really big offenders when it comes to the theft of American intellectual property. We got to prosecute that stuff and push back against that stuff. We have to make sure that we don't have people who are spying on American companies, either in our education laboratories or in the companies themselves. But the most important thing that we need to do is we need to protect our own manufacturing. The way that China was able to catch up to us technologically is that they took all of these great manufacturing industries and built a whole technology infrastructure on top of that manufacturing base. We've got to rebuild our own country, rebuild our own innovative capacity. The president has taken huge strides over the past 7 months in making that happen, and building America up is the best way for us to win this competition.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here.
Shout out to JD.Vance, man. I fuck with JD.Vance, though, man. He run, I'm voting for him. Because I just like his honesty. I like, he knows how to talk really good. Straight to the point. And that's what you want, man. You want somebody that's going to keep it real, that's also going to be, hard on these countries who've been taking advantage of America forever. You know what I mean? That's what you want in your president. He has military background, has served in the government and went to Harvard. Smart dude. I believe I think he was an attorney, but he did something. He was getting money. Let me see. Okay, he got investments, stakes in venture capital firms. Got book royalties from that book. It was a book turned into a movie, Hillbilly Elegy. Real estate. He owns several properties. Like, he definitely get into a bag, And that's the thing, man. A lot of these other people, man, besides insider trading, they don't be doing shit. They don't even be making nothing. They trying to make and that's the thing you want. You want your president to have some type of background in business. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Not saying they necessarily got to have military background. Just saying that you want them to have done something. Like Kamala Harris, you electing her. This is a woman that never created anything, never owned nothing, which means she never had employees. So how do you, she never led anything. She wasn't even a mother. She didn't even lead her household. Maybe she does over that soft nigga Doug, but outside of that, like she doesn't lead anything. And this is a person you're willing to put the whole of America on. Like, what are we talking about? That's just stupid. That's just common sense. But, everything, that's why they make everything racial. They prop up all of these black people who have influence in some way, shape, or form. And, they get them out there, they start dancing, and, people gravitate towards it. For some reason, bro, people gravitate towards racism. Like, they just love it. Like, when everything happens that's racist, it's like, yes, it's time again. Like, yes. Like, they like hoping for an opportunity to go loot the stores and do a bunch of burning burning down their own city at that, which I never, like, seen the benefit in that. Like, yeah, let's burn down our city. It's already a piece of shit. I mean, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, on to the next.
And Democrats right now, and people on the...
My bad. Hold on. My bad. I'm bugging. All right, here we go.
Left are encouraging violence against people who want to serve in ICE.
They are?
And are putting them in harm's way every day.
How
so
exactly?
The two parties and how they're treating...
Let's run it all the way. Let's just run it back to the beginning real quick.
And Democrats right now and people on the left are encouraging violence against people who want to serve in ICE.
They are?
And are putting them in harm's way every day.
How
so
exactly?
The two parties and how they're treating ICE agents right now, I think Republicans embracing recruitment of ICE and Democrats encouraging maybe violence.
So we're just going to make a declarative statement like that without providing a single shred of evidence.
You have not seen the myriad stories of ICE agents.
Okay,
Democrats every day are calling them the Gestapo. Do you think that helps or hurts?
Well, they do act like Gestapo when they're showing up.
Now you're doing it.
Well, they are.
They're
just showing up.
I assume you condone the violence.
Penske trucks.
Do you condone the violence?
That's Ana Kasparian, the supposedly red-pilled, insensible, disaffected liberal, immediately defaulting to the same crazy, hard-left smear of calling ICE the Gestapo, while denying the left's role in stoking hostility toward them. It's proof that when it counts, the mask always slips with these types, and the instincts haven't changed. Welcome to Nurk News, I'm Nurkish, and it looks like the Sensible Liberal Act didn't last long for Kasparian, because the moment immigration policy gets real, census counts, deportations, and enforcement, you see where her real priorities are: protect a political advantage and punish the ref who blows the whistle. Here she's trying to spin ICE as villains only to calmly get smacked down by Scott Jennings.
I hope they are. I mean, look, always with law enforcement, you hope that the standards are higher, right? The better departments have the higher standards.
I will just say, Republicans right now are trying to recruit and give bonuses to people who want to serve in ICE.
Because they came out I don't want my tax dollars going to that garbage, okay? Those people do not deserve to be treated that way simply because they might be undocumented.
Do the ICE agents deserve to be having violent acts committed, rocks thrown at them?
No.
My whole thing is, that's their job. What are you talking about? Like, they're ICE agents. Let's see what... Hold on. I think I know, but I don't want to be wrong. Okay. ICE stands for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, right? Immigration, Customs Enforcement. So they're supposed to enforce against illegal immigration. That's literally their job. Who gives a fuck if they're hopping out of Penske trucks at Home Depot to round up a bunch of illegal immigrants? Who cares? So what? That's how you got to do it. What, they're going to come up with ICE shirts on, fucking like, hey, what's up, guys? Like, we're here to pick you up. Are you coming? Like, no. We hopping out, big shit, letting you know we ain't playing no fucking games. It's so funny to me because every time I hear these type of stories, I think about, why don't they have this same like energy for all the black houses and the Latino houses that get raided on a regular basis in the hood? Like, I don't get it. Like, they don't have that same, that same energy for all the black and brown people that are locked up in all of these prisons across the whole nation. But they are getting up on every news station, like kicking down hella doors, literally trying to fight to get in these ICE facilities, literally. But I don't see no kicking for brown and black Americans who've been here their whole lives, right? Who are, getting locked up, some unlawfully, some lawfully. It is what it is. But I just don't see the same energy. They're illegal. Illegal. Like when you, like, soon as you hear illegal, it's like, all right, I'm like, like if I get pulled over and I got an illegal substance in the car, I know that, like, if they find this, I'm going to get in trouble for it because it's illegal. Like, what are we talking about? Like, but they won't call them illegal immigrants, which I think is crazy. They're called immigrants.
They don't. They
don't like
people
dogs.
Who do that get arrested, and they should be arrested.
And why don't they know they're doing that?
arrested
Because
either.
they've been told the ICE agents are
Have
Gestapo.
you considered the fact that in a city like Los Angeles that has a massive immigrant community, when they see their mothers or fathers...
Notice what she just said, because this is the things that people miss when they watch these type of things, right? When they watch this and he's like, oh my God, she's fighting for us. She's really fighting for the people on CNN. She said, hold up, let's rewind it back. Because you got to pay attention to words. Words are very powerful.
A massive immigrant community.
Right. She said in Los Angeles, right, they have a massive immigrant community. ICE isn't worrying about immigrants that are here legally. That's not who they're worried about. They're not even after them. Even legal immigrants who came here, which is a lot of people in America, bro. A lot of people came here legally. They don't even like illegal immigration at all. They looking at it like, man, shit, I had to pay money to get here. I had to learn the language. I had to learn the fucking Constitution, whatever they got to do in order to become legal citizens here. But they had to do a lot to get here. But yet these motherfuckers get to just fly over here and walk over here and like they citizens. Like what? They don't even like it. But you got people like her who listen. They always say immigrants. And that's the thing that you gotta listen for. You gotta listen to what she's saying. Scott Jennings is saying ICE is going after illegal immigrants, right? She's going to keep calling them immigrants, and she's going to get you to feel bad because you might have an aunt or an uncle or a mom or a dad who's an immigrant who's here, but they're here illegally. They're here legally, but they got you assuming that your mom and your dad should watch out because ICE is going to come get them too. When it's just not true at all, like not even a little bit.
When they see their mothers or fathers or family members rounded up, that leads to a lot of rage and they retaliate. I'm not saying they should. That is criminal. They should not assault a police officer. Let me just tell you something. Someone messes with my family, I get violent. Okay, that's how I feel about family.
Good to know.
That's called inciting violence right there, what she just did. Like, I know if somebody was messing with my family, I get violent. No, you don't, bitch. No, you don't. The first person that give you, I should call the police.
Protect family.
You're lying.
So don't be surprised when people feel angry when they feel that there's a bunch of feds in their city invading their city,
There's a violent streak
going
in the
after
country
people
right now.
who are just day laborers that are Home Depot parking lot.
That's dangerous talk, though, with regard to law enforcement in
No,
general. Because you can
please.
make that argument about
Please.
anything with law enforcement, which
Okay.
is, all right, so law
Exactly.
enforcement came in, they arrested someone at my house, they got the wrong person, and I am mad, and as a result, I'm going to now
get to be
go.
rageful?
Well, no, I mean, look, you can be
It
mad.
leads to unrest. It leads to a ton
No,
of
it's
unrest.
more than that. They are
that's-
physically attacking.
And by the way, it is
There's an
interesting.
800% increase in attacks on ICE.
Look at this guy. Oh, here he comes. This nigga be blowing my shit. He another Charlemagne.
And last word that we're going to go to break.
Look at
Calling ICE Gestapo
I can't
isn't
wait to hear what he
policy
gotta
analysis. It's a permission slip for chaos. I mean, if agents who arrest illegals are Gestapo, then any pushback becomes resistance. That's how you launder intimidation. And here's the thing, Kasparian is another childless liberal with no skin in the game, willing to leverage other people's futures because despite all her bluster about family, she doesn't have children.
And this is what you have, people. A bunch of women like her who don't even have children. You don't have no states in the game, baby. You don't even know, like, what are you talking about? Another Kamala. Another Kamala. Don't call her Kamala. Her name is Kamala. Her name is Kamala. Fuck Kamala.
doesn't care about the downstream effects of the policies she pushes so long as it benefits her. At the end of the day, she wants cheap labor, an issue to virtue signal about and channel her misplaced maternal instincts, and most importantly,
because that's all you get. That's all you get is cheap. That's why they want them here, for cheap labor and the vote. That's it. That's the only reason why they want illegal immigrants here, bro. These people kill me. I guarantee you, she either owns nothing, right? This is just her income right here, spewing bullshit on CNN, right? Or if she does own a business, anything, she got a Mexican somewhere working for her. Guarantee you, bro. No disrespects to Mexicans, because I value y'all more than she does. Trust me. She thinks all y'all are good for is picking grapes in the field, doing her laundry, and you know, being a nanny and shit like that. They think y'all just wash dishes and kids. Like, I don't think that. I think Mexicans are very hardworking. You know, I actually envy them a little bit. I'm a hard worker myself, so I'm right there with you. You feel me? I'm competing with y'all motherfuckers.
The ability to manipulate census data for political power. Thankfully, though, President Trump has successfully turned this into another 80-20 issue, because most people don't want congressional seats and federal dollars juiced by counting illegals, and they don't want enforcement handcuffed by activist tantrums.
Scott Jennings, do you think the president wants to do a mid-decade census and reapportion everything right now? What's he doing?
Well, he certainly wants to do the census in a way that doesn't count illegal aliens as part of the overall population for the purpose of determining congressional districts and federal funding. And I think he's going to have a lot of popular support for it. Now, I know there's a process they have to go through, and it would take a long time to do a census, but there is a widespread belief that Democrats want to keep the system in place that they have because it advantages them. I know that that's what they believe, because a Democratic congresswoman from New York, Clark, the other day said out loud, "I want more migrants in my district for redistricting purposes." And so it's a political strategy of the Democrats. And I think the president's saying to the American people, why are we counting illegal aliens, unauthorized residents in this country when it comes to apportioning our political leadership?
So the census is going to be real messed up if the Supreme Court, which I don't know how the Supreme Court's going to rule. You're right. It's a very conservative Supreme Court.
Is messed up now.
Now it's a conservative Supreme Court and all of this. Listen, whenever anything goes against their narrative and what they want to push, and the propaganda is you know, it's conservative, and you know, it's racial, it's racist, and it's Russia collusion. This is what they do, bro. Like, you gotta really pay attention to their words.
Is it messed up? I mean, they're counting people who live in the United States.
There's no doubt that
conservatives don't like that it counts undocumented.
They can't vote, but it determines who gets to serve
every census
in
history up until this point.
That's for sure.
No, it also determines who's in Congress, and it might mean 20 to 30 seats. That's why Democrats are in the middle of a high-speed come-apart right now. It's 20 to 30 seats.
You know, Scott nails the real motive here. Counting illegals in the census isn't about fairness, it's about stacking the deck. I mean, Democrats have openly admitted they want more migrants.
They broke this down. They broke this whole thing down, basically saying, like, a lot of these states, like, I'm not really too familiar with this whole census thing, but basically it boils down to they are putting all of these illegal immigrants in all of these districts and stuff like that, and they're counting them as far as getting federal dollars and all. It's a lot of shit that is to it. You know, I'm not like a professor or nothing on this shit, so I'm not gonna act like I know everything about it. But all I know is they are doing illegal shit, period. It's not constitutional.
Migrants in certain districts to lock in political power, representation, and federal money without a single vote being cast. That's not democracy, that's importing influence. Kasparian's defense of it shows exactly why her sensible label is a sham. She's fine with rewriting the rules if it helps her side, and she's fine smearing the people who enforce them. The 14th Amendment was never meant to reward lawbreakers, and most Americans know it. This isn't complicated. Citizens determine representation, borders define a country, and law enforcement shouldn't be turned into political punching bags just to protect a partisan advantage. But let me know what you think. Should illegal immigrants be excluded from congressional apportionment? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please.
Yeah, Scott Jennings is always smoking these motherfuckers. because logic is always going to outperform stupidity. That's just common sense. Like, it's going to always outperform, like, every day of the week because people want logic. You know? You know? But let's talk about the Eagles, man. We got a little bit of upsetting news, and I never liked this type of shit, to be honest with you. It's kind of pissing me off just a little bit. But it's still little. I mean, the preseason has started, so the regular season starts in, I think, September 7th. So we got a little bit of time to try to bust a move or something. I don't know, but we're going to get some updates on this whole situation right now.
Coming up on today's Philadelphia Eagles Now, we have a Landon Dickerson injury update from ESPN's Adam Schefter after he was carted off the field at the open practice last night at Lincoln Financial Field. That'll be topic number one. And then topic number two, Eagles fans get some exciting news going into the second week of the preseason. They'll have a couple of joint practices this week.
I know. This is good. This is good to play. I did, though. Originally, I thought about it before I went live, and I went back and I changed it.
Against the Browns, and then on Saturday, they will host Cleveland at Lincoln Financial Field. Before we talk about all of that, by the way, hope you all had a fantastic weekend. My name is Chase Senior. You're, of course, watching Eagles Now. I want to say thank you to all of the legends, all of the real ones, all of the loyal viewers of this show, because yesterday we did surpass 124,000 subscribers. Join the movement. And if you want informative, insightful, entertaining, thought-provoking Eagles coverage every single day, year-round, I have you covered. This channel is for you. Lock us in today. As for the latest on Landon Dickerson, I did do a video on this last night with some video of what happened to the three-time Pro Bowl guard for Philadelphia at that left guard spot. He got carted off toward the end of open practice on Sunday night. It was the only open practice that the Eagles will have throughout training camp and the preseason this year. He walked gingerly off the field after he was on the field on all fours for a little while. And of note here, Dickerson, who is going to get an MRI on his knee today, has had some knee issues briefly in his professional career. But when he was in college, he started at Florida State, then he went to Alabama. He tore ACLs in both of his knees when he was at Alabama. And so there is a history there. And I talked about this when the Eagles took him in the second round out of Alabama, when he won the Remington Award for the best center in the country, that I thought the Eagles were getting a fabulous player in Landon Dickerson. But some red flags there, given the issues that he had with his knees at Alabama. And here is the video that a viewer sent me sitting in the 100 section at the link last night during this open practice, and you will see Landon Dickerson at that left guard spot go down. And it's very difficult to see what exactly happened here because his left foot appeared to get stepped on by Jordan Mailata. That kind of put his right leg in an awkward spot, and then he just went down.
And them motherfuckers, is big motherfuckers too, man. And they be going hard. Damn, man. He just fucking we do got another, let me see, because he had got some snaps. Let me see. Let me see. Got basically Kenyon Green. Hold on. Yep. Yeah. So let me see. They got him at. So We got a decent little backup. Did he say Landon Dickerson isn't?
Can look at this clip so many times, and I know a lot of doctors who are famous and covering the NFL now, doing fantasy news and betting news, using their medical background to really capitalize with that service. They've even looked at this and they've said, really not sure what's going on. Now, there was some rumblings last night. You see how Dickerson goes down. Did he tear his Achilles? Well, it appears as though that is not the case. So that's a sigh of relief because Adam Schefter reporting this morning at about 7:35 a.m. Eastern time that Pro Bowl guard Landon Dickerson is expected to undergo an MRI today on his knee. So we can dwindle this down to it being a knee injury for Landon Dickerson and not an Achilles. And of course, when you get that imaging done with the MRI, that will tell you if there is a tear. Now, we're not sure what the MRI is going to be honed in on. Is it the ACL, the MCL, the meniscus? Is it a patellar tendon injury? We have no idea. So the good news, not an Achilles injury for Landon Dickerson, it appears. The bad news is we wait to see if anything is torn, and as soon as we get that information, I'll be sure to pass that along right here on today's show or with another video on Eagles Now. Now, this is, of course, a big question that I have, that a lot of Eagles fans have, and let's get to the root of it. What do the Philadelphia Eagles do if Landon Dickerson misses time? Thankfully, the Eagles have the best offensive line coach in the NFL in Jeff Stoutland, who has done an incredible job of maximizing players all along that offensive line during his stint as the Eagles offensive line coach, and his hiring goes down as one of the only good things that Chip Kelly ever did in Philadelphia. And on top of that, the Eagles also have time on their side. There is 3.5 weeks to go until the season opener against the Dallas Cowboys to figure it out. You could go with Kenyon Green at left guard. You could move Tyler Steen to left guard and Matt Pryor, who has over 1,000 snaps played in his career at the guard spot. Steen filled in for Landon Dickerson at left guard in the NFC Championship game last year when Dickerson moved to center to replace Cam Jurgens. Brett Tauth can play left guard.
That's what I was thinking about. I knew that he had snaps at the center position, and that's what made me think that, but he played left guard.
Was drafted as a center and a guard. He has over 30 starts in college at center, but he's gotten some reps at guard throughout training camp. In 2024, the Eagles used a 5th-round pick on Trevor Keegan. He's capable of playing the left guard spot. The Eagles also drafted 3 offensive linemen in the 6th round. Now, Cam Williams and Miles Hinton, they have offensive tackle experience, but they could slide to the interior. And Drew Kendall, as I noted, could play guard as well. The best free agent out there is Brandon Scherf, who is a former top 5 overall pick by the Washington Redskins at the time. He played last year for Jacksonville and played pretty solid. He's definitely longer in the tooth, but he's definitely the best free agent option out there. And then, of course, Howie Roseman could make a trade. He did trade for Kenyon Green in that C.J. Gardner-Johnson deal, and Green is a former top 15 overall pick, but he's also injured right now. And when he's played for Houston, he's been one of the worst offensive guards in all of football. And this would be a huge loss, literally and physically, for Philadelphia if Landon Dickerson is out for a while. Worst case scenario, out for the entire year. Not only is he one of the best left guards in all of football, a player who the Eagles spent $84 million on with a contract extension last offseason, he has also emerged as a terrific team leader for this team. I mean, how many times did we see the viral clips of him in those Eagles huddles prior to games getting the offensive line fired up? And I loved what he said earlier in training camp. Every team has an expiration date. The 2024 Eagles, yeah, we may have won the Super Bowl. That was last year. This is a new season. We haven't accomplished anything yet, and our record is 0-0. So let's hope that Landon Dickerson is okay. On Twitter, you can give me a follow. On X, at Chase_Senior, I put together a Landon Dickerson prayer circle. You can head over there. You can give me a retweet.
Yeah, man, so... Damn, that's a big piece, man. And I hope we go get somebody, man. We got the cachet to do it, so we gonna see what the Eagles do. Hopefully that he's good, man. We need him back. Hopefully he only out for a couple weeks. That's what I'm praying for. I'm hoping that he's out for just like shit with a knee injury though, man. You could be out for a while. Might fuck around be out the whole season depending on what it is. But I'll definitely keep you updated on that. So all right, so boom, we almost an hour in. So we gonna end it with this. You know, I ran past this and I was fucking with it. I fuck with Gunna, man. Through all the bullshit, whatever, you know. I don't even care about, you know, at the end of the day, I'm from the street, so, you know, obviously, I don't want no fuck niggas around me. But, you know, from what I know about Gunna's situation, it's not really like no fuck shit. It's just some shit where he was basically just caught up in the wrong situation. But I don't know. But that's they shit. All I know is I fuck with his music. So that's what we gonna play today. We gonna play this Gunna song, this new joint. I'm fucking with it. Plus, I want to try some new shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Is we going, you know, because I fuck with them. I make music myself, so is we gonna go to the music route? We gonna go to the. I like talking about a little bit of everything, so fuck it. We gonna just talk about politics, then we gonna go to the Eagles, fuck with the Eagles, talk about the Eagles, then we gonna go fuck with Gunna, listen to his new song, and then I'm gonna just start doing this shit all the time. Like, fuck what you talking about, nigga? You know what I mean? So, shout out to Gunna. This is new drink. Let's play this shit. Yeah.
Dang. I don't know, bro. I'm gonna tell you now, man. Loyalty don't mean nothing. I can't believe they ran Braz up out of here.
He ain't run. He kind of swam out.
I don't know, man.
Oh.
God damn.
Damn.
Maybach number 1.
Nigga just say that.
Maybach number 2.
Oh my. Why didn't I stop?
Maybach number 3. What the fuck is going on? Is that the president?
That was 5.
I don't want to keep standing in the rain with you. I'm tired of being out here with you, bro. I need my life back. Ain't no pause. I had this. Look, it's empty.
You changing up already.
I'm just saying. I want to be in the Maybach.
All right, well.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't want to keep standing in the fucking rain.
Stop yelling because you scared.
About to drop it, they go with the Maybach. Ain't no more warnings, I'm telling you, stay back. All that loose talking, they come and relay that. I know the singles is getting outdated. You wanna feature that nigga, just say that. You wanna feature that nigga, just say that. Fucking this bitch with a latex. Nigga ain't trim, I know this bitch on the limb. Charge it to Amex. Wait till it's him, I wanna catch it on film. Call it the payback. H.I. nigga, I'm him. Go on a creme de la creme. Chocolate, baby, get Tim. I salute, you give a thrill. Running up, I need more revenue. Know when they head you stack up your M's. Another spot and I own if you go to my kid when I'm riding the wheel. I'm working out at the Patriots Stadium gym. I done got rich on my alias. They come and pay me and they know the drill. Working on my little lady friend, getting Mercedes-Benz came out this year. And I got an AMG chauffeur that's paid for the year. I'm about to drop it, they go with the Maybach. Ain't no more warnings, I'm telling you, stay back. All that loose talking, they come and relay that. I know the singles is getting outdated. You wanna feature that nigga, just say that. You wanna feature that nigga, just say that. Half a ticket all in, just say it, I handle the biz. I speed on the block, 25 black on black, Maybach, a whole nother bin. I flooded with rocks, BS and carrots and partners on both of her wrists. Big bird in the sky, about to land back in Skyami, we pushing again. No more clash, I see you playing, we checking your chin. 650 came with the chauffeur, you can't hear the motor when I'm pulling in. I got that chip on my shoulder, I told you it's over and blew like the wind. Pink slip on the one on it, I don't owe Benz. I'm about to drop it, they go with the Maybach. Ain't no more warnings, I'm telling you, stay back. All that loose talking, they come and relay that. I know the singles is getting outdated. You wanna feature that nigga, just say that. You wanna feature that nigga, just say that.
That shit go hard, bruh. I fuck with that, John. I'm about to listen to. I gotta listen to that in the car later. For real, like, that shit go hard. I fucking with Gunna music, dog. That nigga be dropping some heat. That nigga beats is crazy, dog. That nigga beats is crazy. But yeah, man, that's the end of the show, man. You know, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the motherfucking channel, man. Shout out to Gunna with that hot joint, you know what I mean? Shout out to, you know, myself, you know, because I just be like coming through and I look, I really look, man, I love this shit. But we gonna have, I'm figuring this shit out, You know what I mean? I'm figuring it out, and I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna have some time real soon. In like 30 days, I'm gonna have a nice amount of time to go ahead and, figure out what I'm trying to do with this shit. But, until then, we just gonna keep dropping and giving updates and reacting and, dropping a song here and there and, just doing some fly shit. But yo, man, it's your boy SL550. This is the NGLA podcast. Make sure y'all like, share, comment down below. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. You know what I'm saying? It costs you zero to subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate everybody who's already subscribed, who be tapping in with me. And yeah, until next time, it's your boy, SL550. I'm out.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
a poor man prayers.
Every man bleeds,
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.